The size of it is far beyond the mind's reach. It can't be another ship. Sir, it's like something I've never seen before, and it's closing in at a preposterous speed. Wait, this can't be. It's disappeared.
Race day.
What's up, guys?
What's going on?
What's happening?
What's up, man? How are you? Ready to roll?
Enjoying it, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, ready to roll. Excited. A lot of people here.
Sound of two strokes fill the air.
Yeah.
It's pretty sweet. We got
Nice
our
shirts, guys.
we're representing with Viking shirts.
It looks that way.
Viking shirts.
Yeah. That's awesome.
We want everybody to know who we're here for. 450 looking sweet.
Yeah.
Look at that. Fresh coat of SC1 and everything. What a rig. You look like a pro.
Yeah. Look like it.
What are you thinking? What's going through your mind? Racing.
That breeze feels awesome. Domination's what you meant to say.
In it to win it. Or as Team Wax would say, hold her wide, boys.
Hey, whenever you get done, know you climb that hill.
Yeah.
Shout out to Team Wax. We love you guys. Glorious.
I'm not gonna be able to.
Sure, you're gonna be all right with that GoPro?
Yeah.
Get better picture than anything.
Be
We're
all
going
right.
to document this right, boys. Document it right.
The boot might help take some of the pressure off your back.
I just may have to just do this.
There you
There you
go.
go.
I mean, my purse goes there. It just doesn't have a big strap. You know?
We'll meet you at the line.
All right.
The only thing I tell you, somebody gets in behind you, they're ribbing at you.
Get out of the way.
Find me a place the other way.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. For sure.
But yeah,
Good advice, man.
it's
Thank
gonna
you.
be a good experience.
Yeah.
You'll be hooked for life.
I'm looking forward to it.
I want to find you one. So
All right. Yeah.
if you like speed, people don't like going fast, technical stuff. It's probably not.
The Viking like speed.
I like it every now and then, but I think today is more about the experience, being able to hang in there and complete. That's the biggest thing. If I can run,
Yeah, just finish.
however many 4 or 5 laps. Then.
All right, boys, Dirt Obsession here with you. We're going to try something a little different today. This is Brent of Viking's very first XC race, and we are just going to shoot from the hip and narrate over this. Brent, you're on the line. What are you thinking?
I'm hoping that my 450R starts and just looking to get a good clean start here.
450R did not start. Not very clean. Here we go from the POV. Looks like everybody else got a good solid jump on you.
Yeah, I didn't start the way I planned on it.
What's going through your head right here?
Right now I'm just trying to keep up with the pack, trying to weed through the dust and keep up with everybody else and stay on pace.
Okay, so now we're entering turn number 1. Well, we're through turn number 1. We're about to enter the woods, and you are 4 out of 4. Are you thinking that you can win it here?
Definitely not worried about winning, more or less worried about completing the race and finishing. Just experience.
All right, and that's something we should point out immediately. The goal here is definitely not to win. Very first XC race. This is the first experience with racing overall, and oh, look at that dude went over the turn. That is an off-camber turn going immediately into the woods, and some dude bit it. So did that have you nervous?
Yeah, you're carrying a lot of speed through the open area, and then as soon as you hit the woods, you start to slow down a lot. You got to get hard on the brakes, and then it starts to get a little bit technical.
Okay, just a reminder, this is KXCR 3-Cap Mountain. This was in September of 2020, and KXCR sets up some pretty cool race events. Definitely well organized and a really fun event to attend as both a spectator and a rider. All right, so back to the original goal. The goal of this is not to win the race. The goal of this is for you, Brent the Viking, to gain some experience. So you were there all weekend. You started on Friday. What was your biggest takeaway from overall the entire experience?
It was a blast, most fun I've ever had. If you ever get a chance to run an XC race, do it. No matter what, make it happen. It's an awesome experience.
But it wasn't easy.
No, it was a hard, grueling race, but you learn a lot from it, and you gain a major respect for the pros out here that are XC racing.
So right through here, the trails are super tight. These are very tight trails, like difficult for you to get that 450R through. What do you think? Just stay with the pack? Are you looking for passing lanes? What's going through your head here?
Right now, I'm just trying to keep up. I did walk the track, so I kind of knew what was coming. I knew how tight it was going to be. I do have extended A-arms on the 450R, so some of the stuff was very tight, but mainly just kind of looking to stay with the pack at this point.
Okay, so at this point, adrenaline's pumping. You're out of the woods. You're out of the tight section. You're onto the whoop section, and you still see everybody. You feeling pretty good?
Yeah, I feel great because I'm keeping up with the pack. I signed up for the Open C class, and even though I'm in fourth place, I'm hanging right in there with the other riders.
So let's talk about the bike setup. You're on the 450R. You've got the Dasa Elkas. You're about 49 inches wide. Is that the right setup for XC racing?
Probably not. If I had my choice, it'd be a little bit narrower. I think I was a little too wide for some of the tighter sections of this course. I think being narrower would have helped me in quite a few scenarios.
And KXCR as a series, probably more than most other series, is relatively tight. I would say this is a dirt bike heavy series. There was around 200 bikes and around 30 ATVs. Very, very good XC race to get your teeth cut on for a four-wheeler race, but it was definitely dirt bike heavy. So that kind of contributed to the fact that it was so tight. But we were also told that this was one of the faster tracks in KXCR. What were your thoughts on the speed of this track?
It started off fast. Everything was going good, and I started to kind of get wore down as the race went on, and then everything started to slow from there.
Oh! Dang. Okay, first hiccup. What went wrong?
The ground right there, the track was real sandy. I turned the wheel and the front end pushed. I got over in that loose sand and it pushed me right off the track into a tree. The back of the bike got hung up on some little saplings and I had to get off the bike, pull it out of the trees to get back on track, and that really killed me for the entire race.
And now you're running again, but the pack is leaving you. That has got to be a sinking feeling. What's going through your head here? You're trying desperately to catch up. You still feel like you're in it?
Yeah, I'm tired. I'm out of breath. I think hopefully I can catch them. I've cost a lot of time. It kind of wore me out getting off the bike, but I'm just going to push forward and make it happen.
Okay, so spoiler alert. This wasn't the first issue you had in the race, and we expected this. The goal was to finish. The goal was not to finish first. The goal was not to run with the pro class. But we'll get to the overall of how you feel. But is the adrenaline still pumping at this point? You're probably, let's say, maybe 20 minutes in, 15 minutes in or so to your first race. Is the adrenaline wearing off? Ooh, first pass.
Yeah, I'm still excited. The adrenaline's there. I'm starting to kind of get a little hand fatigue, my thumb mainly, the throttle thumb. But for the most part, it's going good, but I am starting to get a little bit tired.
Okay, so it sounds like what you're telling me is that the first thing to go is your thumb. Is that really like the first point of exhaustion? Is that what you felt? Your hands hurt first?
Yeah, I don't have a steering stem on the...
Oh, Oh, draw number 2. Draw. And the 450 doesn't really want to kick back on.
Yeah, when it gets hot, it takes it a little, kind of hesitates when it starts back. I don't have a steering stabilizer on the 450, so I think that's the first thing to fatigue and get to start to wear out is my hands, my shoulders, my arms. I think I really need a steering stabilizer on it. I think that would really help.
Yeah, definitely a steering stabilizer should certainly help. That's universally what we hear. The first thing to put on to go faster is a steering. That is off camber. I'm not going to lie, buddy. That looks off camber on video. I can't imagine how off camber it is in person. It's pretty tough. You're hanging off the side of the thing.
Yeah, I was hanging off the side, and there's a big cliff to the left. Kind of looking at that as didn't want to go over.
So back to the fatigue. A steering stabilizer is probably one of the most quintessential pieces of equipment that you didn't have, you feel like you should have had for this race.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right, so we are still on lap one. We're still on lap 1. Is there anything other than the steering stabilizer that you felt like you really should have had to help you get through this race endurance-wise?
No, not really. I would definitely recommend a hydration pack. I should have had that. I did get kind of cotton mouth. I got real dry. I needed a drink. Other than that, nothing.
Okay, we are coming to a split in the track. You are taking what you have told me is the easy route because you walked this track before. Why did you take the easier route instead of the faster, more difficult route first time around?
Well, I wanted to play it safe. We walked the track on Saturday. The race was on Sunday. I kind of walked up the hill. It got pretty steep. It was rutted on one side pretty bad. I wanted to play it safe. I wanted to complete the race. So first lap, I took the easy route.
So at this point, in your mind, it is not about trying to catch up. You have the original intended purpose of this race is to finish an XC race, and that's what's in your mind now.
Yeah, my main goal is to play it safe, make it out in one piece, let my equipment out in one piece, and just complete the race.
This is hairpin. Look at this. This is a steep decline. Your machine barely fits, and you know we can hear you huffing and puffing. Is this more intense than, say, our practice area that we ride at pretty much every weekend?
Definitely more intense than our practice area. I was not expecting the trails to be as tight as they were. Some of those places, like right there, I almost got hung between those two trees. It was so narrow.
And let's talk about your competition. I remember some of your competition. You had a stock 2014 Raptor. There was a stock, like a 2020 YFZ, and then a 400EX?
There was a 2008 model 400EX. I think he wound up winning the class. Probably due to his width. I mean, the 400EX is narrow, it's nimble, it was a fast track.
So there we see the fellow that had been on lap 1. He's still trying to get his quad out. So what it sounds like you're telling me is that horsepower, displacement size, not necessarily the most important thing in an XC race. The 400EX was one of the faster machines out there. Is that just because of how tight it was?
I think it had a lot to do with it.
Give me a break. I thought y'all was back there.
Look at that pit crew.
Pit crew.
Good looking folks right there.
Yeah, I couldn't have made it without my pit crew for sure.
That Miller Lite was for Chad.
What's up, man? I thought y'all was back there. Oh, sorry.
There we go. You're a little upset with us because we told you we'd be at the trailer, and we kept running around the track to make sure that you had what you needed.
Long walk.
But a long walk. We were trying to get you from all different angles. But yes, this is why you need a hydration pack.
Yeah.
You had to have water at this point.
Definitely why you need a hydration pack.
That's the pro class.
Those pros are moving. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Those boys are absolutely ripping, and we feel like we're good. We're well practiced riders. We are well practiced riders. We ride a lot, and those pros, they're good.
I felt skilled until I entered this race.
I'm not going to take that as a knock on me.
Then I realized how much skill these guys actually have and how much experience they have to do this.
And reckless abandon, really. You don't ride like that. 450 don't want to start.
Come on, you piece of shit.
Oh, no.
Come on, Betty.
Come on, Betty. There we go.
It finally
450's rolling again.
finally started.
So, reckless abandon those guys. They're out. They just put it out there, and they rip. And it's the advantage of not having to go to work on Monday, maybe?
Well,
Oh, Black Betty does it again.
she did it again. I think a lot of it's just experience. I think after doing it once, knowing what I know now, I think next time I'll go a little smoother for sure.
All right, so this is steep. This is a tight section. You're got another little sapling. That's a little bit more than a sapling.
I didn't
It's
think.
steep. It's off camber. It's tight, and you're getting frustrated. What's going through your mind?
Well, I zigged when I should have zagged
Yeah.
for sure, and just the pressure. I'm scared somebody's behind me. I'm scared I'm going to hold somebody up. You know, being in a competitive situation like that brings on a whole new aspect to riding.
So if you're not familiar with some of our other videos, hey, intermission. Brent is kind of praised for his riding ability. Brent is a great rider. And what you just told me when we didn't have the mic going, this is a little bit different than riding on the farm.
Yeah, this is not casual trail riding. This is a competitive situation where you got a lot of other riders, pro riders on the course. You're trying not to be in their way. You're trying to complete. You're trying to be fast. You're constant pressure. You're under constant pressure to do well. Very stressful.
Which is just absolutely 100% completely different than any sort of riding you've ever experienced before.
Yeah, any other kind of riding is just all for fun, which, don't get me wrong, this was fun, but it's set in a competitive situation.
Sure. So with all that in mind, this is different than you've ever done before. We know that you're a great rider, by our standards, by the common man standards. XC racing, totally different. Did you feel like you had a huge learning curve to overcome, or was it more kind of equipment and inexperience that held you back?
I think the biggest thing was inexperience, first off. I think second would be...
Man, them guys are fast.
Those guys are fast.
Yeah, they were fast. They blew by me like I was sitting still. I think the next thing would be equipment setup. I needed to tweak my setup just a little bit. And I need to get out there and I need to race more. I need to get the experience. And I think that's going to make me better, faster each time.
So with that said, there's certainly equipment that comes into play. We've mentioned some of the things. The precision racing steering stem or steering stabilizer. That's absolutely a need. Flex bars look like they're 100% in need. You definitely have those. But ultimately, could you ride a stock machine to get the experience and allow your experience to kind of catch capability and add those aftermarket parts kind of as you go? Or do you need that stuff to be competitive right out of the gate?
Absolutely. You could go out here on a stock machine. You could run some local XC races. You could get a feel for it. You could get some seat time under your belt. You don't have to have shocks and A-arms and, great tires, bead locks. You don't have to have all that stuff. It just helps. It gives you a little bit of an edge over the competition. It kind of helps you, makes you more comfortable, just like the flex bars. We put out a video prior to this race, kind of a pre-race video. We got some comments from On One Wheel 7. He said, get you some Risk Racing palm savers.
Yep.
He recommended to get a hydration pack, which I did not do, and I deeply regret it. But all those things are going to kind of give you an edge and a little bit of an advantage while you're racing. But anyone could go out on a XC course with a stock machine and compete.
Even if it's a 400 class machine, any of the 450 class machines, it doesn't really matter. If you want the experience, a stock machine is going to give you the experience.
Absolutely.
Everything else, icing on the cake.
Absolutely.
But I want to touch on another thing that you mentioned just now, and that was some of the advice that you had got from guys who know what they're doing. You know, on One Wheel 7, he's a senior. I believe he races a senior class in GNCC. He races entire circuits. You know, he gave you a lot of advice through that. He's a friend of the channel. He let you know some of the things that he felt like you would need. All of that is good advice, and all of that are things that you feel like you should definitely listen to, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Take it from the guys who have the experience. He said, you know, the palm savers, the hydration pack. We implemented some of those things, but time-wise, and I think it's important for everyone to know, you decided to do this race about 2 weeks before it happened. We didn't have time to acquire all of the things that you felt like you needed to race competitively.
Yeah, one of the other things, and I remember now, was the hand guards. I did buy the hand guards. I did get those put on the flex bars. I got that on my quad. He recommended that, which awesome recommendation. I love them. But yeah, you know, talk to other people. We talked to a guy when we first got to the starting line. His name was John Dial. He kind of gave me some advice. Talked to some of the other locals, get to know people, you know, and just take their advice, because these guys have been out here, they've done it before, they know what to expect, and they know what you're about to experience.
And the community mindset is really very strong. These guys, when they know you're new, they're not trying to bring you in to beat you. They want to bring you in so that you're they want to be ambassadors for the sport. They want you to have fun, and they want you to come back and race. So a lot of the things that they're telling you, I was really impressed with kind of the willingness for these other racers to offer advice, to tell you what they thought, to give you pointers before the race. Very, very cool people at these XC races. Very cool.
I was very impressed with the camaraderie at the, you know, of the sport at the beginning of the race. All the guys that kind of, you know, talked to me, said, "Hey, man, we haven't seen you here before. You new, you know, just welcoming, talk to me, give me some advice, those type of things." You know, very helpful.
Yeah, it's really an XC race. Overall, the environment is really, really fun for guys who are really into quads, because we can go out there, we can totally cheese out on some race builds, we can look at what everybody's got, ask them questions about what they got, and there is nobody out there that you're going to be like, wow, that 450R's got freaking exit shocks. Dude, what do you think about those shocks? How do you feel about them? And the guys are 100% willing to be like, this is what they are, this is how I think, you know, this is what I'd recommend somebody get. And the camaraderie was really incredible to see.
Yeah.
All right, Brent, so we are probably 3.5 laps in at this point. I know you're tired. I know you told me as much on the side of the trail. What is going through your head here? You just want to finish?
Right now, I'm still looking for that group that lost me the first lap. I still haven't caught them. I'm wore out. I'm exhausted, but I'm having the time of my life, and I wouldn't change it for anything.
So I think the biggest takeaway that we want viewers to know, if you've listened this far, you're probably into racing. You probably really, really want to give this a shot, and you really wanted to see what the perspective of a new racer would be like, because there's no other reason to watch this far into the video. What advice do you have to somebody who is going to do this for the first time?
My advice is kind of like what they told me, is you're not going to win the race on your first lap. So don't go wide open out of the gate thinking you're going to just get in front of everybody and win on lap 1. You have to finish, you have to finish 4 laps to win, if not 5. You have to complete the race, and it's a marathon, not a sprint, and it's a very addictive sport. You better have plenty of money.
Okay, to sum this all up, first XC race, much more difficult than you thought it would be.
Yes,
Fair to say.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And I think that anybody who thinks they are a good rider cannot truthfully gauge where they are in skill level without having done either an MX or an XC race. As far as you can't watch a racer and say, oh, I'm that good. You can't see Walker Fowler on Racer TV and be like, man, that dude's fast, but I'm really fast, on trails that So you think that's fair? This is a tougher sport than it gets credit for.
Yeah, trail and leisure riding, they're totally different from a competitive race with other racers. It's just, they don't compare.
Hey guys, this has been Chad and Brent from Dirt Obsession. We really appreciate you checking out the video. This was Brent the Viking's very first XC race. There's more to come, right?
Yeah, I'm hoping for 2021 to revisit the KXCR. I'm hoping to run in several of next year's races if it all works out.
We hope this video was helpful to you. As we continue to learn what it's like to race these machines, we're definitely going to share that information. Any question you have, we're very knowledgeable guys about ATVs. This is just our first foray into XC racing. Feel free to shoot us any comments that you may have. And until next time, appreciate you checking out the video, and get out there and race. It's not that hard, right? It's not that hard.
It's not that. It's achievable.
It's fun. It's fulfilling. He's nodding his head yes.
Yep.
That means it's fulfilling. Thank you guys for checking out the video. Dirt Obsession. We'll see you next time.
I got another one if you want one.
Finished it.
I finished it.
Hell yeah, buddy.
I think I went four laps.
4 laps, yeah.
Yeah, some of the other guys, I think they went 5, but I'm not sure. I'd wait on the scoring, but
You got that checkered flag, that's what counts.
I finished.
How's your hands?
My thumb is sore and raw, and that getting that throttle thumb broke in.
Yeah.
Man, that track.
Saw you holding your arm that one lap.
When we walked that track, it was smooth and looked real good.
Yeah.
Of course, look at how many bikes went ahead of me. Everybody else went ahead of me. Man, them roots started to get dug up out of the ground.
Sure.
The ground gets rutted out and washed. Dude, that thing beat me to death. My arms feel like Jello. You ever seen that cartoon character Gumby? Like the little gummy guy? That's what I feel like. I feel like a big gummy bear.
Yeah, you done good, man.
Hey, freaking finished it, man. That's
goal was to
freaking
finish.
awesome.
Yeah, I finished, and of course I don't know how I placed. We'll find out. But that was definitely an experience.
Heck yeah.
That cold engine start. I didn't get a good takeoff, man. I hope the GoPro got it, but I had a few bobbles, a few mistakes, and man, that when me and you walked it down there, there's this off camber by the lake. Oh, that was rough. I was almost hanging just on this whole side of the bike and still had issues down there, and it's real tight when you come up out of there, and like my front tires are scrubbing trees as I'm going through.
Yeah.
And there was a couple times where I got stopped. My very first lap, I got down to the bottom of the hill below the driveway, and I was trying to keep up with the other riders in open sea, and I got down there, they were dusting me out, and I got off the side of a berm, and I got high centered on a sandy spot, got hung up right there, had to drag the bike off. I was mad.
Oh man, so you had to get off the bike and drag it?
Twice I had to get off the thing, and then I killed it a few times. I'd be going through there not to hit a tree real hard, and it just stopped me in my tracks and it killed the bike. Well, then whenever I go to start it, the damn thing don't act like it wants to halfway start. When it gets
450 start.
when it gets hot, it don't want to start just right. So here I am in the middle of the track, and I'm like, come on, start, because I'm afraid other riders are going to come up behind me.
Yeah.
And I don't want to screw up anybody else's race. They're here for points and money. I'm here for the experience and fun.
Yeah.
So I don't want to screw up somebody else's ride.
Yeah, you're still shaking.
Yeah, I'm going to be shaking for a little bit.
Rush, man.
Yeah.
Man.
Hey, freaking finish, man. That's unbelievable.
Heck yeah, man. Primary goal achieved.
Yeah.
Viking level 1000.
It was dusty, especially at first. Of course, once everybody else left me, I wasn't in nobody's dust.
Yeah. Well, it took you a while to get left. You were right with them through a couple of the first turns.
Yeah. I think first time out. I think I finished. So
Damn right.
That's
Dude,
an accomplishment.
that was the
for
goal.
me.
That was always the goal.
Hey, I felt bad that first time that we gave you water, and you was like, I thought you were supposed to be back there.
Oh man,
we felt horrible, dude.
We're going back. We're going back to your
I stopped
trailer.
at the fence, and because my throttle thumb was getting real sore, and my forearm, I got forearm pump real bad. So I pulled over by the caution tape by the camper over there, and I sat there and I'm shaking my hand, I'm looking around. I'm like, man, I could really use a drink. I keep looking over. I'm like, where are they at? And then when I went on down, I seen you guys there.
No, in all reality, when he pulls up to the next curb, he's like, where y'all at? You're supposed to be up there by the camper.
I need some water.
So we was like, okay, we will have water for you next time.
I get a little grumpy when I'm thirsty.
You know?
Hey,